Welcome to the Dirt on Growing, where we don't just plant seeds, we plant ideas that challenge the norm. I'm your host, Brandon Rust from Full Crop Sciences, and this is the podcast where living soil meets real science. From worm castings to bottled nutrients, microbial inoculants, and chemical pesticides, we're here to question the trends, break down the data, and empower your grow. It's time to think deeper and grow better.
Welcome to another episode of the Dirt on Growing podcast. I'm your host, Brandon.
Hold on one second.
Rust, and today we're going to be talking about.
I have a pre-recorded video for you guys. Let's figure out why this isn't working.
To another episode of the Dirt on Growing podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Rust, and today we're going to be talking about aloe vera. We're not going to be talking about sunburns. We're going to be talking about aloe as a biostimulant, a microbial growth enhancer, and as a plant defense activator. So let's explore how this humble little succulent is quietly building soil health from the root up. So there's a lot of different compounds inside of aloe vera that make it extremely powerful for agricultural applications. Aloe vera isn't just water and goo, it's a biochemical cocktail of over 200 active compounds, including polysaccharides, which feed microbes and improve soil hydration, phenolic compounds, which have antimicrobial and antioxidant properties, and a full profile of amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins, and they also act as nutrient chelators. It's got vitamins A, C, E, and B12, which are essential not just for humans, but for microbial metabolism. It contains organic acids like malic and citric acid that help chelate nutrients and keep them bioavailable in the soil. And it contains trace minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, and zinc, all in a plant available form. So this isn't just a plant, this is a biochemical cocktail in a leaf. When you apply aloe vera to the soil, first off, it works to improve soil structure. So the polysaccharides bind to clay colloids and organic matter to make aggregates, which improve aeration, reduces compaction, and boosts moisture retention, especially in sandy and degraded soils. Second, aloe acidifies the rhizosphere slightly, just enough to increase the nutrient availability by boosting the cation exchange capacity. And then amino acids and other organic acids chelate things like calcium, magnesium, and iron, which become more available to the root without needing synthetic chelates like EDTA. And here's where it gets even better. Aloe vera acts like a probiotic for soil microbes. The sugars and the amino acids feed beneficial bacteria like Pseudomonas, Bacillus, and even mycorrhizal fungus. And all of the vitamins and enzymes aloe provides supports microbial metabolism and enzymatic activity, including phosphatase, urease, catalase, amylase, and other enzymes that help break down and cycle organic matter and minerals into nutrients. Here's the kicker. The saponins in aloe selectively suppress pathogens like Fusarium and Pythium while supporting beneficial microbes like nitrogen fixers. So aloe vera helps with targeted microbiome shift towards balance and resistance. So aloe vera acts as a plant biostimulant, and you're probably wondering what happens inside of plants when plants absorb aloe-derived compounds. So we have things like cytokinin activity from ace-mannan, which is a hormone that boosts shoot and root cell division. We have amino acids that chelate nutrients and increase nutrient availability. There are also hormone precursors, and they can be catabolized to produce energy and aid in growth acceleration. And there's organic acids from aloe vera that can help increase membrane permeability, improving uptake of water and nutrients. And there's also things like antioxidants that can reduce oxidative stress, both from biotic and abiotic stress factors, including drought, salinity, and heat. So as a plant biostimulant, aloe vera can help plants photosynthesize more efficiently, absorb nutrients more efficiently, and defend themselves more efficiently without the use of synthetic hormones or pesticides. So aloe vera isn't just feeding the plant, you're biohacking and upgrading its operating system. And one of the best things about aloe is that it's easy to grow and maintain, and it's oftentimes available for free or nearly free, as an agricultural input. And while agricultural aloe products exist, I always find it's best to just use freshly cultivated and cut aloe vera. And there's several different ways that you can use the aloe vera, including soil drenching. And I've done pretty heavy applications, but it's good to keep a ratio about 10 to 1 water to leaf. And you want to do this by weight. For example, 10 grams of whole aloe leaf for every 100 grams of water. You can water this directly into soil, but you can also add it to compost teas. You can also foliar spray with the dilution ratio of about 20 to 1, and this will help boost plant vigor and reduce some stress. You can also use aloe vera for seed treatments. You can actually soak seeds in aloe vera gel for improved germination and for some of the biostimulating effects that aloe provides, like hormones and minerals and other bioactive compounds. Or even integrated pest management sprays like sulfur or horticulture oils. Aloe vera is personally my second favorite plant simply because it's so simple and easy to cultivate, and it has so many extensive uses, from helping with sunburns or cuts and wounds, as a medicine, and as a plant biostimulant, soil conditioner, and microbial probiotic. Aloe vera kind of does it all, from improving root zone hydration to balancing microbial populations to increasing nutrient use efficiency and improving the quality of crop yields. It's really kind of a tiny force of nature, and it's probably, often thought of as just a novelty in agriculture, but it's really a powerful tool. So if you want to learn more, comment aloe below, and I'll send you a free scientific report on aloe vera and agriculture uses, so that way you can look at all of the different scientific compounds and benefits that are in aloe vera. There you guys have it. So I was looking through some of the comments in chat, and I also wanted to talk about something that I didn't mention during the pre-recorded video, which was using aloe vera gel for cloning. And so there's a hormone which is called indole-3 acetic acid, which aloe vera contains. It is very similar to the synthetic version of this same hormone, which would be indole-3 butyric acid, which is what cloning gels and cloning hormones are made out of. So this naturally derived compound is also found in aloe. So you can use aloe vera as a cloning gel, just like you would use Clonex. Dip your clone into there, or your plant stem, and use it for cloning. And another one of the things that is commonly asked about aloe is the preparation. How do you use it? A lot of people just assume that you just want the gel, but you actually want the whole plant. And the best way to process it is really just take the leaf materials that you're of the aloe that you want to use, and put it with the water inside of a blender and blend it all up. Whole plant material, right? You're not just using the gel, you also want the outer skin as well, because that outer skin is what is going to have the majority of things like the calcium, the magnesium, any nitrogen, any of those micronutrients and those minerals. And it's really safe to use, to spray and to, drench. It's a great additive, and it's free. I have a huge plant sitting in my bedroom right next to the glass window, and I use it every once in a while when I'm taking clones, and every once in a while I'll blend some up. Here's a question. Any problem using distilled water added to the powdered aloe? No, it shouldn't be a problem. Using reverse osmosis or distilled water is just fine when you're using aloe vera. So that is the little tidbit about aloe vera. It's a great biostimulant. It's a probiotic. It's got surfactant properties. It's got amino acids. It's got vitamins and minerals. It's got phytohormones. and it's super easy. It's hard to overdo. So it's like people who want to know what the dose rate is, you can go really heavy on it, you can go light on it. It's, just an overall kind of miracle plant. It's not just good for sunburns and for skin and rashes and cuts, but it's an amazing plant biostimulant. And it's one of those things where it's such an easy plant to grow and to just keep them around your house that there's no reason why you shouldn't use it and process it as a free input. So I went over the ratio of leaf to water, but 10 to 1 is fine. 20 to 1. You can go super hard on it, you can go light on it. You're using it as an additive. So it's not like you're constantly feeding with it. It's not meant to be like everyday use. It's like, every once in a while type of thing, maybe once or twice a month. This is a good question right here. It says, could you use the aloe vera blended juice to soak peat plugs when cloning? I've never tried it. Um, Me personally, I like to kind of do the bare minimum when it comes to clones, but you could definitely use it after they're rooted. Trent Scott a Garden asks, what's considered light versus heavy aloe use in your experience? So, like a heavy aloe use would be like, I would take a couple of, like 18-inch, really big, thick leaflets and take like 3 of those and blend it up into like, a 5-gallon. And that was like a lot. I mean, it was by weight, dude. These were big, huge, massive fillets of aloe. These were big, big ass leaves, so they weighed a lot. Um, you know, that's the thing is like, it's not so much about how much you use, obviously just like dumping in pure gel. You don't want to do that. You want to solubilize it and get it mixed in there. But it's in my experience, you can go heavy on it, you can go light on it, and it's not going to like, make a huge, huge difference if you go heavier versus lighter. It's just, it's really about kind of balance. You're not using it to as like a fertilizer, right? It's just an additive. It's to help boost immunity, help boost up the microbes. It's not something that you want to do constantly. So that's my, biggest advice is just use it as an additive. Don't do it all the time. Although it has tons of benefits. And then one of the things is too, I have this link right here that I'm dropping in the comments. This link will take you to the complete guide, right? You can go onto the blog, you can copy paste all of the information, and it goes over all of the individual compounds that they're producing, what they do, whether if it's a plant hormone or if it's a polysaccharide. Yeah, Donald says he's soaked medium aloe for clones before. I've done it too. And I think that when I did it, I was using the aloe vera powder that was more processed. I wasn't doing it raw, but I was like looking at, store bought or processed versus just, you know, stuff that I could cut right out of my yard or whatever. And it just makes so much more sense to just go to the go to the nursery if you don't already have some and just grab a little plant. They multiply so fast, so quick anyway, that within a year you can have huge aloe vera plants that have the capacity to feed both your indoor and your outdoor gardens, for not just medicinal plants, but tomatoes and your peppers and all the other food stuff that you might be growing. Oh, this is another good question. After blending and mixing up your ratio, how long can you store it? So I don't recommend storing it because what happens is because it is a biostimulant, it's immediately going to start promoting bacteria, and it will have a lot of anaerobic bacteria. It'll start to smell real bad. It'll go bad really quick. It'll basically rot. So the recommended way to use it is to mix up what you're going to use immediately and try not to have leftover. If you do have leftover, just throw it on your outdoor plants or your house plants or whatever. But yeah, you don't want to store it. And that goes for a lot of different things. So a lot of unless you're fermenting these things where you're like, if you're fermenting stuff and you're getting the pH of the actual, concoction below a certain point where it essentially, kills off all of the opportunistic kind of gram negative microorganisms and the pathogens that produce those negative compounds, and it's stabilized, then that's fine. But aloe vera and ferments, they have similar benefits because you're bringing in a lot of the same type of compounds. One is being produced by the plant, and one's being produced by microorganisms, but oftentimes they're very similar and they'll do similar things, or they'll create things that are beneficial to each other, so they'll work synergistically. So you could do a ferment and stabilize it like that if you wanted to have it for a longer period of time. We got a question from Frank Hughes that says, what kind of medium would you recommend growing aloe in? I'd like to still use Full Crop Sciences products. So if you're growing aloe, you can grow it. It doesn't have like crazy high demand for like attention and water and fertilizer. So I mean, you can grow massive aloe plants in just regular outdoor soil. So if you just get some decent potting mix, the aloe will do fine. Aloe's really easy to grow. It's like it takes really almost no maintenance. Is it safe to do on a weekly basis? So yeah, you could do it once a week, but it's probably not necessary, right? I mean, use it as a additive is what I'm saying. It has great benefits, but you don't need to do it all the time. It's not like, oh, if I keep doing it, it comes to a point where it's like, okay, you can only do so much. I think every week would be fine. Every 2 weeks is fine. That's what I would recommend. Like every 2 weeks. Like when you do the Micro Plus and stuff and the calcium silica as amendments, right? Calcium silica microbes both have different benefits than aloe, right? But those same type of situation. It's like every other week is good. Like that way you're not overdoing it and you can add other things in occasionally. And it's just, you're not just pushing everything to its limits all the time. Andreas is asking about the stretch on the ChemD Blueberry Train Mac. It gets big real quick, dude. It's going to blow up. Trent Scott of Garden says he planted our aloe in Fox Farms Happy Frog with some perlite, and it loves it. Yeah, it's super easy to grow aloe, and it has so many benefits. Again, it's like regardless of where you live, you should be growing aloe simply because of not just its benefits for agriculture, right? If you're growing and you want to have like, oh, hell yeah, I've got this, because dude, you can use it for a surfactant, right? So let's say you don't have a surfactant on hand like Kiaha or Yucca, right? You can use aloe vera gel as a surfactant. It becomes very soapy and it helps with the application of, let's say you were doing an IPM spray with sulfur, right? You can add that aloe into that sulfur and spray it, and it'll adhere to the surfaces of those plants much more efficiently, for instance, right? It's got so many different properties. And then again, if you burn yourself, if you get cuts, so just having that plant around is like super beneficial. But anyway, I am going to sign off for now. I'll make some more of these. I'm going to be doing a really in-depth podcast about the benefits of the microbial consortium that is found in the Micro Plus. So lactic acid bacteria, Bacillus subtilis, purple non-sulfur bacteria, and yeast on the next podcast. I'll announce that, and I'll save this so you guys can go back and rewatch it. Make sure that you guys go hit this link if you guys want to check out more on this particular subject. I wrote it all out in an easy to understand form. And if you want to support, go to the website. Go to the website and you can pick up any of our products. I'll see you guys next time.